first, I wanted to check in with my old friend and a very astute political analyst, Cliff Schecter. He's a national progressive PR strategist with Libertas LLC, also nationally syndicated columnist for Al Jazeera English, and the author of the book, The Real McCain. His website, libertasllc.com. Cliff, welcome back to the show.
Thanks so much, Tom. How are you, man?
Great, great. I understand, you live in Ohio, and your previous governor had written. Correct me if I have these details wrong, but I think this is it. I'd love to hear your take on this, and also to know what people in Ohio think about this. Your previous governor had issued an executive order regulating exotic animal farms, pens, whatever the right word is, sanctuaries. Right. And Governor Kasich decided, we don't need no stinking regulations. This is inconsistent with Republican philosophy. Screw the regulations. And now you have a very interesting problem in your state.
Yeah, all of that was exactly right, especially the Republican, obviously, their philosophy of no regulation can be a good one. This zealous, really insane philosophy we've had since Reagan. Government's always on your back, and it's always better to get it off. So in this case, you're exactly right. Governor Strickland before passed an executive order that was strict in how these animals were going to be cared for, sold and cared for on these private farms, private compounds. And John Kasich came in, the teabag governor came in and was elected and said it would hurt small businesses. They always use the same line. So he, of course, let this expire. And the Ohio Department of Natural Resources had no jurisdiction over these farms and regulating them. So what ended up happening, of course, is, they don't know how many of them there are. They don't know what conditions they're in. What did happen is this is a guy that had been convicted of illegally possessing a firearm. He's a guy who had been cited for animal abuse numerous times, and still he was allowed to operate this farm with 56 animals on it. And probably most people at this point know what happened, which is before killing himself, he released all of them, 49 of which ended up having to be killed. Bengal tigers, 18 of them. There are only 1,400 or so in the entire world. I mean, it's sickening and it's heartbreaking, but it's also a broader story about where we are. I mean, I just wrote a column, where I kind of tied drew a line between that and what's going on Wall Street with Occupy Wall Street now because of the repealed Glass-Steagall and other ridiculous deregulation on Wall Street, and what's going on with this birth control pill now, Yaz. I think you've had Mike Papantonio on your show.
Yeah, we did yesterday.
To talk about that and how these women are 630% more likely to get embolisms, and it's all the same thing. It's all that with barely a response from the Democratic side. Sadly, these guys, even after what happened on Wall Street, which is insane to me, after 2007, they still talk about deregulation like it's a good thing, like it's better for all of us, like we don't all end up sharing the much higher costs when tragedy ensues, whether it's a person's health or it's the animals released, out and so we're lucky nobody was killed, or anything else. It's crazy, and we're still living, it seems, under this paradigm.
Yeah, what astounds me, Cliff, is I get conservatives on this show, and to debate the issues, and I say, okay, so what's the Republican job plan? And they say, well, the Republican job plan is to cut regulations and to kill off Obamacare. And I'm like, okay, so really the Republican job plan is to make more people sick so we're going to hire more doctors and nurses eventually?
I guess so, right? I mean, I guess in the end, when more people are sick from that, when my kids get lead poisoning because they don't want to regulate products being sent in from China.
Right, you'll have to hire a neurologist.
Exactly. I mean, I guess that's the jobs plan, right? Well, it's going to be a great boon for the nursing industry and maybe for psychiatrists and psychologists out there. But I mean, in all honesty, I mean, we all pay the price. When somebody doesn't have health insurance, ends up in an emergency room because they didn't get preventative care, we all pay the price of that. What happened the other night, I mean, to me, just it's repugnant on a sort of compassionate level. I happen to be an animal lover, and so it sickens me. But even if you want to view everything the way the Republicans do, just through a purely economic lens, what productivity is lost by police out there chasing around animals, shooting them? How is that how is that beneficial economically? What this gentleman was doing. It's insanity. And of course we know there's cases like that, and then there's the broader cases like what's going on with Wall Street, which essentially has destroyed the economy for a number of years. But they're still doing this, and they're still getting away with it, and it's just amazing to me. It's amazing. It's one of those 3 or 4 things that literally drives me crazy. The Democrats can't look them in the face in any debate or any argument and say, "Are you really? I mean, you're really arguing for less regulation after the last couple of years. Are you crazy?" I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get it, Tom.
It's sort of like the libertarians, the Ron Paul people, who believe that if all regulations were done away with, that we would live in a utopian world. I don't you think, Cliff, that some of them are actually kind of utopianist idealists and secret libertarians, and have this fantasy that if we just become like Somalia, somehow we will self-organize instantly, or the billionaires will take care of us, and that probably a larger cohort of the Republicans are just saying this because it's the only thing they can say because they're in the bag of the billionaires and the giant corporations. And not all billionaires, by the way, are toxic like this. I mean, there's some very, very good, very wealthy people out there. But you've got a small number of them, and particularly the Koch brothers, who are just driving this crazy train.
Right. And I don't think your point could be more right on. I think most of them just do it because it benefits their their funders, and so they don't know it. They probably don't know the effects of any of the deregulation they advocate for. I don't think they take the time to care. They just do it because they're being paid off to do it in a system of legalized bribery that we have. But yes, there are a certain group of libertarians, and you hit the nail on the head. It's like the communists used to be attacked for wanting to create this utopia that just made no common sense. I mean, really, if they think you remove all government regulations and we're all going to organize peacefully, I mean, there won't be warlords that will take large chunks of things. There won't be corporations that will become monopolies. We'll all just sit around.
It'll be a mess. It'll just be a mess. Cliff Schecter, Libertas LLC.